What drew me to anthropology was really my personal experiences and backgrounds. I grew up in India. I grew up in a very kind of multicultural environment, and as well as being an artist as a kid, I loved kind of understanding how things worked and working with my hands and looking at process. And so anthropology was really a way to combine the things that I had learned previously in my life as well as things that I loved the most in a way that really impacted community, that impacted a global society, as well as individually it impacted my own personal experiences. My name is Nirinjan Khalsa, and the title of my research project is Stamp the Yard: Embodied Experiences and Globalization in the Production of Block Printed Textiles in Bagru, India. So my fieldwork was in Bagru, India, which is a town located just west of Jaipur, which is the capital of Rajasthan in northern India. And there's a long history of craft production, particularly with block printing production in this particular region. And so I wanted to get an idea both about how their cultural heritage had been shifting because of globalization, but also really get their voice, their experience. It was an added bonus for me that I actually got to see how these textiles are made and all the technologies that they use, because everything's done by hand. The most significant thing that I personally experienced in the field is community. That moment where I felt like I became part of the community, that I got folded into what their experiences were. There was a moment where I was at the field site, and it was kind of like daily that we would come early in the morning and just watch daily production of processes, whether it was washing or printing or dyeing. In the early morning, they would wash the fabric and then lay everything out on the ground. After a while, I started partaking in this practice with them. One of the days I came and one of the workers said to me, she was waiting for me to put on the gloves and start working. And it was that became a norm for me to come there and help and participate. And experiencing those kind of key moments where they were allowing me into their world, that they were allowing me into this normal life that they had, and as an outsider, that was everything. And as an anthropologist, that was everything, to be welcomed that way. As consumers, we can just see things as the objects. We don't get the stories of the producers, and that was always my goal in whatever research, however my research was being formed, was really trying to get a clarity and a transparency within artisan practices and how that shifts within globalization. But it's something that can be applied to all artisan communities around the world. Globalization is something we do every single day within consumption practices and material culture. The advice I would give to future students is to put your whole heart into it. Research is so personal, and you're working on this project for so long that it becomes a significant part of how you operate in your daily life, just thinking about the writing, thinking about your data, thinking about how you want to portray this story that you're telling. And within that, to just feel like it both represents you, but it represents the community that you were researching. And part of that challenge of being authentic, to being true to your research, is allowing yourself that personal journey to process how your experience has changed as well as theirs. But for me, that always comes from just putting my whole heart into it, being passionate, being stressed out, being crazy sometimes, and just having fun with it at the end of it, because it is a very significant experience that will be folded into the rest of our lives. And so just take it for what it is, but also charge forward and don't be afraid to just kind of dig in.